Okay, so let's just take a telephone system. So a telephone system where there's one phone and I have it in my house, that phone is kind of useless because who am I going to call? There's nobody else around. And then my neighbor gets a phone, and that's pretty cool. Now, whenever I want to talk to my neighbor, I don't have to walk over to their house. I can just use the phone. But the phone, doesn't work with my mom and my coworkers and everybody else. But then every single person who gets a phone makes everybody else's phone more valuable for them because it's just a new person that they can reach. And so how does that play out? Well, that played out in services like Skype or Zoom or WhatsApp or whatever. Every single person who got the phone then made the phone more useful to everybody else, right? Every person who gets the app makes the app more useful to everybody else. And so you see this everywhere. And there's all different types of flavors and whatnot with this. If you want to go get your PhD in network effects, go read the guys at NFX. It's just NFX. Just Google NFX network effects, and they have a guide of the 16 types of network effects or whatever. For example, Uber is a network effect. The more drivers that come on the network, the faster the pickup times. Like you push the button, there's more likely to be a driver near you. And that brings on more riders. The more riders there are, the more utilization the drivers get, the more money they make per hour, and the lower the cost per ride. And so it's every driver that joins drives the network effect to be more valuable. So the same is true. When I saw crypto, I basically just saw it as a money network. So other people saw this as this crazy, coin, and I did too initially. But once I realized, oh, this is a money network. It's just like the other networks with a phone was a communication network. Skype is a communication network. WhatsApp is a communication network. Instagram and YouTube are media networks. That's where you post media, and every bit of media makes those networks more valuable and more interesting to a larger group of people. Similarly, this is a money network. The more people who hold this thing and believe in its value, the more valuable it is for everybody else. So when it comes to NFTs, that to me is one of the reasons why Ethereum is more valuable, or whatever platform is the NFT, like the dominant NFT platform. Today, that's Ethereum. So Ethereum is more valuable because NFTs make it useful for people. And so value accrues to that. Now, on an individual project basis, there are no network effects or very weak network effects. An individual project like a Bored Ape Yacht Club is more like a Rolex. It's actually, the more people who have one, the less valuable it gets. And so it is the anti-network effect. It is what's called, I think, like a Veblen good or a Veblen good. I don't know how you pronounce it, but basically you can Google the definition, but it's sort of like the more in demand it is, the higher the price gets, right? It's like normally, increasing demand would eventually, supply would increase and it would drop the price. But with these luxury goods, the opposite is true. The higher it's, the deemed price as a luxury good, the more valuable it becomes, and the supply it does not increase with it. And so I don't think that that's a network effect style thing, which is one of the reasons I rarely, if ever, buy individual NFTs unless it's just, for kicks and giggles, for fun, because I don't know a ton about art. That's not my specialty. And I don't like picking projects, like individual art projects like that I think might hit. And so I'd rather just own the underlying chain that people use for NFTs. And, I saw some crazy stat, I put it in the Milk Road today, which was that the OpenSea co-founder came out and said there are more NFTs on OpenSea than there were websites on the internet in 2010. That's kind of a mind-boggling number, right? Like, because he's the co-founder of OpenSea, I'm going to take that as a legit source for somebody who would say that. That's a crazy stat to me.
What does that tell you?
It tells me two things. One, NFTs are, the good side is, wow, NFTs are really in demand, right? Like their NFTs are they seem fringe and niche, but they're actually, at a significant scale, at least in one metric, which is number of NFTs. Not the best metric, but it's one metric.
Yeah.
The second thing is, there's some downsides. NFTs are valuable because they're scarce. They're scarce digital assets, right? You want a rare NFT. But if there's more NFTs than websites, that means there's an abundance of rarity. So there's a huge number of rare things. And that actually means that most of these NFTs are going to be like most websites. They're going to have zero traffic and have zero value. And so you kind of got to know that going in. So that's the downside. It cuts both ways of that stat.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast. the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the metaverse.